Look, a lot of us have been warning about the slippery slope for years. And of course, if you watch the way that culture goes and the way they just kind of sprinkle the stuff in there in the background, and then you're just supposed to ignore that. It's not a big deal. They're just a couple lesbians kissing in the background, guys. It's not a big deal. Then you get full blown gay Green Lantern, then gay Robin, then every character in the DC universe is gay. And if you start to get into it and you get into the psychology of this, where the abuse stems from, and also the psychology of the writers, who are now just a bunch of, I'd say, batshit insane people. I used batshit, pun intended. Well, I think we get minor attracted Batman next, and that's what's coming. All right, let's go into why this makes sense and why it's a nightmare for DC Comics right now. All right, my name is John Delarose. I am a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. My goal here is to fight back against the corporate culture that is putting this nonsense into everything, trying to, of course, groom the youth into these deviant lifestyles. I'll call it what it is. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of YouTubers going, well, at least they could do it with original characters and things like that. No, I'm here to fight against the Globo Homo agenda. That's what I'm here to do. This is a real culture war. We're not messing around here. Somebody needs to do it. We can't take half measures while they're fighting at full force. And so we're doing so and creating our own content to replace corporate schlock. That's exactly what we're doing. So this is Overmind. It is my book. It's a wonderful book, and it is on a pre-order right now. You can get that link in the description below if you want to support the channel and what we're doing. I appreciate you guys who have done so already. We've had the biggest campaign in history, even though everybody's been trying to cancel us because we're telling the truth here. All right. So a little bit over a month ago, the media was glowing. You see the Mary Sue here. We're here for bisexual Batman. Yes, and you look at this ugly drawn panel by talentless hacks, written by talentless hack Chip Zdarsky, who now is implying that Bruce Wayne is in some sort of gay relationship here. And so it was just implied. DC has been kind of sprinkling that in a little bit, trying to put that around. And of course, we've always been making jokes for years that Batman and Robin is a weird thing, that it's kind of a creepy situation. And as you add bisexuality into it, as you add the attraction to men into it, it doesn't make that situation better. If Bruce was a normal heterosexual guy, he might be training some young dude and helping out and really fighting crime. That's not what it's about anymore. Now you start to look into these psychological situations, especially since they've already confirmed that Robin is now bisexual, of course. Yes, here it is, and here's NBC glowing about it. Batman sidekick Robin comes out as bisexual and lets comic fans know they are seen. Yeah, well, comic fans don't want this. DC Comics sales are in the toilet, and all of the talent at DC, like Scott Snyder and other people, have left for Substack, making their own books because they see the writings on the wall. DC at this point is about to collapse entirely. We've seen indications that DC might not even be publishing comics in the near future. They might be licensing this stuff out. There's an intentional collapse going on from within the industry and without the industry. And it is pushing all of this stuff into degeneracy and into evil. And look, this is the thing that happens with these lifestyles. And if you want to look at this from a storytelling perspective and you want to look at it from reality, of course, if you've got a gay guy, Bruce Wayne, and he's become gay because he's had trauma in his life. And by the way, that's what causes these sorts of things. They used to do studies on this all the time. And here's a study from 2012 that you're not allowed to reference anymore that talks about there is positive association between physical and sexual abuse, neglect, and witnessing violence in childhood and same sexuality in adulthood. You're not allowed to talk about that because it's supposed to just be a thing that anybody can choose and natural, blah, 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 blah. But it all stems from abuse at the end of the day. It really does. If you go back to further studies that, again, they don't allow anymore, it shows that 70% or more of people with confirmed homosexuality were abused as children. And so when you start to think about this, and you got Batman raising these little kids and sticking them into tights and things like that, it looks like it's an abusive situation, doesn't it? And that's why we're getting the title of today's video, because it looks like we have a minor attracted Batman at this point if this is what's going on. It's sick, and that is the logical conclusion that you have to reach once you get this sort of programming into DC Comics. And, I mean, as they push further, they're going to push that next on the kids. You know that they're trying to push into this degeneracy, into this pedo stuff. This is exactly what it's all about. They've said that they're going to convert your children at this point, and then the next step is they're going to show the positive pedos in society. There's a whole organization called NAMBLA out there, if you guys don't know about it. It's been around for a long time, and they're trying to normalize this kind of thing. And the creeps are getting into Hollywood. They've gotten into DC Comics. They've gotten into Marvel Comics. And this is what they're going to be pushing. And it's sick. All right. I'm reporting on it because nobody else is going to say it. Nobody else is going to speak the truth on this. They'll talk about it. They'll say, oh, bisexual Batman's a thing now. But you know what? The real bigger agenda is here. And we have to fight it, guys. We have to fight back. And you can't allow your kids around this kind of content anymore. It's really sick. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button, my friends. And of course, don't forget to pre-order Overmind. Support the alternatives to this kind of culture today. Thanks.